customary debate over decidability?
Well, I forgot to start the stream, so sorry. But we are basically talking to Abbott Newell, as mentioned in the last episode. And we also got a first side quest from one of the doctors. So yeah, we're gonna go with that one. And sorry for that. So allow me to welcome to the Golden Ridge. I'm afraid not available. I can debate over decidability. Okay, guns one.
Yes, the presiding bishop sent word of your imminent arrival. However, due to our need for compartmentalization, she was... That said, I've been instructed to assist you however I can. So, tell me, what brings you to Golden Ridge? Victor? Oh, yes, Archivist Clemens. Quite the mind. Such encyclopedic knowledge of engineering. One could almost mistake him for an exemplar. Is he in some kind of trouble?
No. That's
Mr. Clemens, some kind of radical. What an absurd notion.
I must agree with my seer. I once watched Victor shed copious tears over a damaged datapad. It's difficult to imagine him capable of worse. And that may well be true. But our standard of proof within the Order is not normally met by hearsay alone. Victor's currently supervising highly experimental research at one of our labs to the northwest, the N-Ray range, beyond the invaders' front lines. Unfortunately, you'll need to go through the decommissioned autonomous extractorium to reach it. That path is less than safe, so I advise caution. Besides the highly caustic Serenium River and the Mantisaurs, we've also received reports of mad cultists in the area. It does make me wonder why Victor decided to stay. Victor is dedicated. Single-minded, one could... Loath as I am to admit it, there may be some merit to your worries over a... As my predecessor would remind me, denying unpleasant facts is not good science. I would be remiss if I failed to support an investigation. No doubt you heard of the recent attack launched on that Anti's Choice base, Outpost Opportunity. It came from one of our facilities, the Zeranium Manufactory. But that facility is intended for research, not military action. I hate thinking an Order member responsible, but given the precision of the attack, it does suggest traitors in our midst.
Respectfully, Scholar, given current tensions, should we really be trusting such a delicate task to this stranger? Would an internal review of our ranks not be more appropriate? Choosing levity at a moment like this is only further evident.
I don't dispute the need for discretion, my friend. But the presiding bishop made the determination to send the agent to us. Moreover, our situation is growing increasingly dire. I can't overstate my fears concerning this most recent attack ending the ceasefire and reigniting the war in Golden... One more thing. Your investigation into the traitors takes precedence. But if you could also render aid at Outpost Opportunity on our behalf, such a gesture might preserve the peace. I knew I could rely upon you. Ruth, here, take this writ of investigative inquiry. It'll grant you access to... Seer Wiley and I will conduct our own inquest into these traitors you've mentioned erstwhile. We can compare notes once you've returned with your findings.
Okay. And now we're gonna head far away. There are a couple of things. Okay. So that's the manufactory. That is the Outpost Opportunity. And the N-Ray range. I would say we first head down to that one. So let's see, anything else on here and on top? No, nothing here. Okay.
We need to help
here.
the folks at Opportunity, Commander. Void the Abbot. He's more concerned with exonerating his own than with making things right.
No one sees me, so I can steal. Administrator.
What is it? I have 15 seconds of allotted time for non-specific discourse. Oh, new arrivals. Of an independent operative nature, one presumes. Did the Abbot assign you to help? A scintillant apologies. I adopted this approach in an effort to be efficient. Infrastructure requests from the displaced exceed present resource capacity. The mounting accumulation of prevailing or beyond me, more to the point. I am simply one person, impossibly stretched thin, and unable to attend to the needs of the displaced. One priority concern stands out. Well, something of a dispute, really. One where my latest near-future prognostics report may provide some guidance. Tell me, what do you know of the exclusion zone? Fair enough. The exclusion zone is a mere corner of Matriarch's mercy, and you see, the seer predicted that a calamity would befall the exclusion zone, warning that the barrier must not be crossed. But the ever-disruptive voice of the displaced is dead set on occupying the exclusion zone anyway, laughing in the face of certain peril. We don't know, and therein lies the frustration. The seer has augured death for anyone who enters the exclusions. Furthermore, and I quote, an outside mediator, having earned the confidence of both sides, we can't have the voice of the displaced sowing disorder. Will you help us? Will you be our outside mediator, as was for... The first step is to familiarize yourself with every angle of the dispute. Talk to the people of Matriarch's mercy. The displaced want the exclusion zone. We want it kept off limits. We can't both be right. Feel free to speak with the voice of the displaced herself if you aren't already acquainted. Any questions before you get started? I can tell you she's a rabble-rouser of the highest order. Still, she cleaves to her principles. You can find her outside, among her people, stubbornly defying an order barricade. Novice Seer Vicarage should have ample time to illuminate you on the Order's forecast modeling methods. He's just down the room from here. According to predictions, yes. Or at least, my interpretation of them. Many people around camp support or object to our methods. Speak to them, form your own opinion, and when you...
Yeah, an area which is off limits just because somebody says it's off limits is quite not the way to go.
Ah, I pleasantly anticipated this exact moment. My personalized order prediction and weekly prognostics report. I suppose that designation doesn't hold... Well then, I read that you'd have questions about our predictive methods, correct? We utilize a mix of proprietary research methods to gather as complete a data set as possible, and advanced calculations using what... None of us predict events with complete accuracy or absolute detail. We'd need to solve the universal equation to do. The Department of Predictive Analysis provide weekly prognostics reports and personalized order predictions to help steer our followers' paths.
Jesus.
Or what to watch out for. Advisement on adhering to the plan. Forecasts of probabilistic dangers. Elements of the Department of Predictive Analysis is mainly populated by seers like myself, who represent the Order's most talented mathematician. After years of study, some can predict events a few seconds or minutes into the future with reasonable precision. Others can estimate with, of course, predictions have grown more difficult with the loss of the archive, but I am not to speak of that with an outsider. No offense. Unforeseen factors, random elements, anomalous outliers, incalculable. But as we close in on solving the universal equation, unknown unknowns will become known unknowns. Then finally, known knowns. You follow? Matriarch's mercy is brimming beyond capacity with those cast out by war. But why I, for instance, have availed my predictive methods to our refugee neighbors in the area. I share the very engagement is admittedly rather low, but at least one member of the camp reports he has benefited from them greatly. One of our recent guests, Rollo Nast, has received multiple personalized order predictions. I believe he could speak to if my own humble assertions are not enough, I trust his attestations would convince you, and perhaps other members of the Displaced as well. Well, I do.
Welcome back. Any luck enlisting help?
No.
1,068.5 pardons, but my attention is presently 99.81% occupied, coordinating provision. I have 0 allotted time for random queries. As the assigned provisioner, I am responsible for coordinating the requisition and distribution of comestibles. The overwhelming majority of my time is dedicated to this, leaving only you may not have noticed, but the refugees do not want for food or medicine. With the great disruption that has occurred to their lives, one can hardly blame them. That they are fed and remain healthy is sufficient for me. The Order of the Ascendant is dedicated to the ascension of humanity. If I can help others in need today, I shall do so to the utmost extent of my ability. Appreciate you.
Okay. So that's that. Let's see.
Where do we go now? Another refugee camp? Another colony?
I predict, with an 8.23 margin of error, that our situation...
We're not going anywhere! Not on the basis of some half-baked...
Let's see what she has to say.
Except for the fact that you ain't yelling and trying to eat me. I'd have pegged you as some sort of prosperous scrapper by the rough look. You do got a certain feral look in your eye, though. Okay. I give up. Tell me. May Huffstutler, formerly Auntie's Choice, Department of Invasive Marketing. Now, that's what those in the Order call me, leastways. An unofficial sobriquet. On account I object. Louder. More often than the rest. Those of us ended up here have very little except needs. I turn those into demands for reasons of clarity and import. Some are former Auntie's Choice like me. Some were abandoned by the Protectorate. All of us have been displaced by... Happy as I am to make your acquaintance, I'm busy staking our claim over the exclusion zone, so if you'll excuse me. Vexing. We're at the mercy of the Order, and the Order is at the mercy of... Not to insult our gracious hosts, but these people don't wipe themselves unless an equation tells them to. Oh. So that's how it is. You're the meaty. The Order wants us to believe that a catastrophe is coming to the exclusion zone at any... Screw their predictions. We have people, displaced by war and disaster, in sore need of space. There's plenty of room to house them. Am I supposed to fall on my knees and thank the Order because something bad may or may... Sorry. I honestly don't give the slightest whit about the Order's idea of math or whatever calculation tells them that a catastrophe may or... What does the administrant want? To shut me up? To discredit me? I don't know what the administrant's game is. Best thing you can do is introduce yourself around camp. See why we need the exclusion zones open. Huh. I didn't realize we were negotiating. You'll get your little bribe once you rule in my favor. Just don't...
Okay. So we have to speak to a lot of people in the camp.
Please keep your behavior within acceptable parameters.
Can't speak to you, can't speak to you, can't speak to you, can't speak to you, don't speak to you, can't speak to you, can't speak to you. Okay. So I think We're gonna. Let me see. Let's find. I mean, we have 15 minutes, so maybe we do a couple of more conversations. We're gonna wrap things up after, and then we're gonna do the
Look on the
main mission where we head down to the uranium manufactory.
On the bright side, I predict that the worst is behind us.
Well, let's see, how many people can we talk to? You don't talk, you don't talk.
Broke my nose.
You can talk.
I banged him up real good for you, didn't I? The void you did. Barely connected. You're thinking of 2-3 scraps ago. You've been mostly unconscious a while now. You used at least 2 words I ain't sure I know. And I already... You ought to talk to Boss Tilda. She's the brains of this... What does she call it? Doesn't like to look at us when we're all... Anyhow, head down the hill along the fence. Tell her Mapother and Mudge sent you.
Okay.
Can't say I'm fond of these lodgings. Talk about close quarters.
Just be grateful for...
Oh, try not to get too close. My sinuses are stuffed up, my ears are backed up, and my guts are gurgling. I could burst at any moment. Every fluid from every orifice. So keep... Law, finally. Real relief from my fake symptoms. Well, ain't this healthcare in a nutshell? If it's bits you want, you can partake of what I scrounged to... You have my gratitude, stranger. I think it's downright awful what's happened to these fine folks. Sickness, malnutrition, spontaneous genetic disorders. You too.
Yeah.
I remember this place before the war. Functioning trabeculars.
So down the hill.
I can't recall.
Wait, what? So that's Roller.
Last time this region was...
Keep your behavior within acceptable parameters.
Look, I'm not with Auntie anymore. We all had reasons to leave.
Really? What was yours?
Honestly, I don't think it matters anymore.
Algorithm. And then we solve for the... apologies. Just catching up on a research assignment between queries. Yes? Did you need... Distraction and I are old colleagues at this point. The abbot felt a scientician operating in a conspicuous spot in the thoroughfare to show how the crabble patties are made, as it were. That is, if the meat preparation involved a 90-step rate form, I am also on hand to answer queries by providing data supporting our actions. Though perhaps due to my central location, 89.74% of the time, I am simply asked for directions. Given our present circumstances, most of my data revolves around, according to data, life inside shows a notable uptick in key relevant quality of life factor. Life outside sees increased risk of starvation, inclement weather, and hostile xenofauna. Yes, indeed. We have diverted internal resources to better meet demand in key areas. And I'm pleased to say that's led to a statistic. Then back to it.
Hey, dude.
Hi. How do you do, stranger? Always nice to see a friendly face. Well, it's a pity I can't lend more aid to our downtrodden collective. I'm just a humble taxidermist. What? And you think... Listen, friend. A little skill with needle and thread does not make me a qualified medical professional.
Look, this place ain't exactly crawling with experts, and Doc needs all the help he can get.
Have it your way, then. Before I agree to anything, I need sprat corpses. Several. And no victims of violence, please. My art depends on the quality of the sleeve. I used to source all of my sprats. Word has it, she's out north in Auntie's Choice territory, so watch yourself. Fresh being the... Any luck with the sprat hunt?
here, order nullus.
My soup is nutritionally calculated to bread, crackers, mathematically unnecessary.
The grand plan is the predetermined apologies,
Who are you?
outsider. As a vicar, I am usually tasked with guiding non-order lay people. Lately, the abbot has tasked me. You are, of course, free to stay to be enlightened by my lecture, but I don't need an abbot. Well, if it's in the Displaced's best interests, I imagine I can find a moment. Yes, I reckon I do have my ear to the grimy dirt floor of Matriarch's Mercy. I hear what common lay people are saying. Suppose I, more than any other member of the Order here, connect with non-scienticians. I frequently launch into extended orations on everyone's favorite topic, math, and meticulously expatiate on our sex origins in the most rigorously pedantic detail. Oh dear, I got ahead of myself, didn't I? As I'm sure you've read in recent dissertations doing the rounds, education has proven to have... I am single-handedly making a difference here. With constructive pointers on efficient scheduling, lessons on order history, plus some mathematics for a little added razzle-dazzle. Perhaps some other time we can debate the theoretical complexities involved.
Jesus, she's complicated.
Watch yourself if you intend to nose around that collapsed ramshackle. I swear, refugee settlements aren't what they used to be. Yes, technically a hut is meant to be only one story. Because it happens a lot. People here need more room to breathe. Can't build in the walkways, don't have proper building material or nothing. They just make do. After a while, the stacked up... Oh, you put that together, did you? Here, I thought I was being subtle. Yeah, people keep at it. Maybe if we interspersed our requests with numbers, they'd pay attention. Seems like all they care about sometimes. They're doing something, which is better than...
Where are we going here? Oh.
The meaning of life is in marriage, and we are the keepers of the equation.
Oh. Hello. You weren't mentioned in my latest personalized order projection. Granted, I mostly skim the parts what don't cover probabilistic dangers, so perhaps you were alluded to, and suppose that means you're not a threat. So that's good, right? Yeah, I reckon that's good. I'll say, I try not to make any big plan. First time I got a POP, it was on a lark. It said, Rolo Nast, our seer has predicted you must wear a helmet today. I borrowed one, as a laugh. Everybody ribbed me about it. Just after lunch, wind picked up on the cliff above and dropped a mock apple 152 meters straight down onto my head. Sure, but I've had 9 POPs so far, and at least 3 times something similar happened. Things like that just illustrate the fragile... My co-occupant Ike had a POP done. I told him avoid liquids for 48 hours. He ignored it. Later got drunk, passed out, drowned face first in a puddle of water. You did catch the part I said they'd save my life, right? I think alive is a notable improvement on dead. I don't know why the other displaced have been so slow to take to them, but I'm not complaining too loud. Anybody needs me, I'll be right here patiently awaiting my latest personalized order prediction.
What happened to this place? Law.
Ow!
No safer than the trenches.
Oh,
There we go.
Keep your lamps lit. Wherever there's trouble, there's always opportunists willing to profit from it.
This ain't the place to go poking your nose in other folks' business.
Greetings. What can I help you with? Let me guess. One of your co-occupants is always hanging up his or her britches, or you're dealing with more of a stay off my pallet, or that's my air you're breathing sort of thing. Pray elucidate the exact nature of your tiff of contention. Oh, really? Like they strung a few words together in a row and it all made sense? That's here in Matriarch's Mercy, if you're not a member of the Order, you're probably living close to somebody else. Sort of thing tends to cause friction between neighbors. Would lead to fights, but nobody here wants trouble with the Order. So they hire our hooligans to battle by proxy. Half the time, people shy away at the first sight of blood. We say whoever wins the fight wins the argument, but frankly, it's never anything of consequence. Now, how can I help you exactly? Ugh, a tourist. Well, clear out then, huh? Can't have you scaring off real customers.
Well,
look, your nose was just a stand-in for Duarte's nose.
Where do we go now? Another refugee camp? Another colony?
I predict with an 8.2.
Oh. Administrator Agrawal. Here to finally hash this out, are you?
Yes, well, our esteemed outsider here has agreed to thoroughly appraise our situation, in the hope that we may finally close the book on the exclusion zone once and for all.
They say you asked around. Listen to folks. That's a good start, at least.
The seer predicted imminent danger to the exclusion zone.
Well, the displaced are the ones taking that risk. On the grounds that
the displaced are under the Order's care, and the Order should decide what is best for them. Hence, what mediator, I leave the fate of the exclusion zone in your capable hands.
I'm all ears, mediator.
What now?
When grievances between the displaced approach fisticuffs, we hire Sub Rosa hooligans to duke things out for us.
That is unquantifiably absurd, and I don't see how moving into the exclusion zone will help. Unproductive is one thing. Paid Donnybrooks with surrogate fighters is, well, I'm at a loss for an applicative metaphor to describe it. I understand he is rather short-handed.
Yeah. Anyhow, what was the good doctor's diagnosis? At Auntie's choice, we'd view this from a lens of how sickness...
That is indeed unfortunate, but the dangers predicted for the exclusion zone may outweigh these concerns. Collapsed. But we built Matriarch's Mercy to
I'm guessing you're saying this wasn't an official structure. More of a hastily assembled, precariously built shanty. People are struggling to make do with what they have.
I'm aghast these structures weren't built following established Order construction guidelines. Speak on them.
Did he also happen to mention they were needlessly oblique and vague?
But our predictions are given to inform and protect. Forgive me. I do not mean to disrupt.
You mean that missionary type who's always talking at everybody instead of to them?
Her mission is to uplift.
She's indoctrinating, not helping us.
Point taken.
You actually got the Provisioner to give you the time of day. Huh.
Ah, yes. I sometimes forget Provisioner Plotnik is also assigned to minding the displaced's needs. Her role is largely proactive, while mine is reactive.
If the Provisioner's booked up, I say redeploy another egghead.
It's less of an issue of personnel as it is of safety. Contrary to your assumptions, by my calculations, you've explored this topic from every conceivable... I suspect that your sympathies lie with the displaced. Unfortunate, if true, but I leave the decision in your capable hands. Well, if this is the fate that was augured, then I will not complain. Though, please, be safe.
Not to worry, Administrant. Here. You stay out of trouble. We'll spend a little extra...
Burst SMG. What is that? Burst Assault. Oh, that's that's nice. Okay, so we did this, and now we're gonna do the next part.
Where do we go now? Another refugee camp? Another
But
colony?
how do they let...
I predict with an 8.23 margin.
By the way, where is the occlusion zone? It's probably up there. Well, let's see.
Margin of error.
We're gonna wrap
that
things
our
up here.
situation will improve in time.
And we're gonna
Stop
see you
with the
guys in the next
predictions.
episode.
You don't even